Alright, what's up guys? Alright, let's get into, I'm actually going to shrink this window because the last time I posted a video realized that it was too tiny and you can barely see anything. Alright, so let's go. Let's do this. So we're going to blend two images. As you can see here, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. This one, I'm going to make this my base image. And as you can see, I have already manipulated this. I left it in auto. I increased the exposure. I increased the shadows. That one as well. And this one I decreased the, I don't really need to, but just a little bit here, just like that. And then the next one is a little darker, but I also like to, and then the next one should be 2, 3, 4. Okay. Alright, cool. Alright, so now I'm going to edit in and open as layers in Photoshop, and I already fixed the ratio of the Photoshop window, so it should do a good job putting the files right in that window. I'm using Camtasia to record the audio, the video. I think it does a good job for tutorials and stuff like this. It does take a lot of resources though, so as you can see, it took a while. It's normally faster than this, but alright, so we're gonna turn this off. We are going to turn this off, and then I'm going to bring this guy up in here. So this is going to be my base layer, as you can see. So my base layer, and I'm going to now, very simple. You can bring in using blending modes, but I think, you know, I'll leave it up to you guys to see how you want to bring it. If you want to bring in and utilizing blend modes, you can just double tap this, and you see you can move the lever, the underlying lever. See how I like to bring things in. If you hold down the Option key, do before and after, you can sort of bring in things like that, but I don't want to do that. What I recommend is utilizing luminosity masks. Let me explain why. If you don't know what luminosity masks are, I'll recommend you to that. It's everywhere. Everybody's using it now. It's the new thing for everything photography, just like frequency separation was for fashion headshot photography 3 years ago. Everybody's using it. It's the thing now, and I'll recommend you just YouTubing more about it, because I think it will help you with other things than just the normal, you know, HDR crap that people use automatically. So let's see, we're going to go to channels, and we're going to go to my RGB. I'm going to select my RGB, and it's going to create mask, and I'm going to click and hold here. And as you can see already, see, if I just select the brightest points and I'm holding down the shift key and shift and click. I just brighten it up like in a second by selecting the RGB, which is the brightest layer, the color layer or channel. I'm sorry, the brightest channel on the bright layer here on top. Right off the bat, you can see that I made a huge amount. And the same thing as now. Let's go to the darker layer. Now I can grab this one. Let me see which one works best to bring in the dark. I think this is too dark though. This is pretty good. So I'm gonna go to my layers, channels. I'm gonna select my RGB channel by command and holding the RGB on top. I'm gonna go to my layers again, and I'm going to, with the selection, I'm gonna click and select a new selection, and as you can see right away, it also brings in the dark layer. This is without the layer, this is with the layer. See what I mean? So now what you can do is, now that you have those three layers combined, this is the before and after. I'm going to click on the option key, click on the little eye here on my base layer, and as you can see, I brought in all those things together. Now you can tweak it little by little and see which one you like best. Now I like a little bit more right here. I'm going to bring in a little bit more, so I'm going to bring in my brush. I'm going to click on the B button. I'm going to select, I'm going to go with 20 in opacity. I'm going to paint in black. And let me see here. I don't like it. So let me see if I can bring, okay. I think I like this better. Actually, I want to make it brighter. The layer itself was bringing in too much of the darkness. So right now, yeah, this is much better. I like it much better. I think, let me see if I can move it down. I think if I, no, it has to get, okay. So now, I also want to bring in a lot of the light from the bottom. So I'm going to I don't want to hide my bright layer, because as you can see right here, everything that is in white is hiding all the layers from the bottom. So if you just paint black, then you will hide the layers. And if I click on the option again, see, I'm just bringing in the darkness, which is the window, and not affecting everything else. Just like this guy, this is the bright, that's the bright layer exposure, and I like it the way it is. But if I want to make it, if I want to make things brighter, I'm gonna click and select my layer again, my mask. I'm gonna click on the B button, B for brush. I'm gonna click on 50%, and I'm gonna paint white. Sorry, I'm gonna paint white. As you can see, I'm bringing in more of the bright layer. So now I'm just tweaking the two blends that I did, because at the end of the day, I mean, it's up to you. However you remember seeing that house and seeing how much you want to bring in a lot of light, or you want to make it a little bit darker. And I recommend everybody just, play by ear. So now if I click on the option key and I click on the mask, you can see that I painted a lot more of the white bright image into my base layer right here, which is this one's called base. So this is my bright, and this is my dark. Right. So now I'm going to hide more. You know, sometimes it's nice to see the layer, but sometimes I just prefer to just work with the image itself right here. So I'm going to click on, I want to make this a little darker. That's too much. That's okay. Right here. I'm going to bring in a little bit more of the window. There you go. Before and after. And maybe that's too much. I'm going to brighten it up a little, just a tad. I think it's causing too much problems here. Alright, now I'm going to paint in this. And as you can see, I just worked with luminosity masks. And it's just about painting it in, you know, working with masks, just bringing colors in and whatnot. I think, I don't know if I like, I mean, you can see it from here that it's pretty good. It's not bad at all. The reflection is not too shabby compared, you know. So I think I might just leave it the way it is. But you know what though? And this is something that I didn't teach before. But I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to create a layer. I'm going to just grab my pen tool. And this is fast retouching. I'm going to change my layer to color. And I'm going to click on the B brush, select any, this one right here, that's right there. Make the opacity to 10%, and I'm going to paint the whole floor. And then like that. And I'm going to deselect, and I'm going to click in and out. As you can see now, the blue has turned a little bit more into an orangey color, but that's too much. So I'm going to just drop it down all the way to 58%. 62. 1, 2. Yeah, that's good. Maybe that's good. So it gives this, like, I'm getting rid of the blue haze. I like it. So in this case, the house is a little warm, so I'm going to delete this. I'm going to merge all these, and I'm going to bring in my guides, my rules. Let me see. So I'm going to just line things up. Alright. Get rid of my guides. And now what I'm going to do is for let's say you're working for an architect or an interior designer, you know, sometimes for real estate you don't do this, but for anybody else, architects, developers, home builders, stuff like that, sometimes you have to ask them first. They don't want things like this, so I'm just gonna get rid of it this time. In real estate, you make sure that you don't take anything out. But for architectural purposes, you know, they don't really care about wall plugs and interior designers, they don't care about that stuff. But it's always good to ask, because sometimes they might be using a specific company that they want to share the products with or whatever. Obviously I need to know those things first. So if somebody wants to share my photos, then I need to give them not complete rights, but I need to tell them what the dealio is about getting my photo to somebody else. So as you can see here now, if we go back to the beginning, you see that's the beginning, and that's the overall photo. Now I'm going to globally, I'm going to select my curves layer, and I'm going to just bring in a little bit of light. And boom, boom, boom. I'm going to click on the mask, and I'm going to grab my black brush, 50%, and I'm just going to darken this part right here. I want to keep my wood. I like to keep the wood, especially if it's beautiful wood. This wood is very easy on the eye, very nice. So I want to keep it that way. So if I go back and forth, you can see that I just painted the top. Now obviously if you want to paint the outside as well, make sure that your hardness is at 53% or something. Just painting the outside so you don't affect the window. And that's it. That looks good. Compared before and after, you know, that's a tremendous change. And just like that, you can go a little bit further, create another layer, merged layer. You can go to camera raw. This is one way of looking. And if Lightroom users, you can see this is exactly like Lightroom. In here, you can then play with your color balance. So you can do this number, or you can go to your saturation and get rid of whatever colors you don't want. You know. So you go here, and then you can get rid of the blue and whatnot. So I'm going to click on that. So now the house is a little bit more cooler. But I want to keep the oranges at the bottom, so I'm going to create a mask, and I'm going to click on B, 100%, and I'm going to bring in that yellow color of the wood that we took out when we went to camera raw. And I'm going to bring in some of the color for the outside as well. Alright, so now if you go back and forth, and oh shit, I forgot this guy. Now I'm going to merge all this all the way to the bottom. I'm going to just merge it. Forgot about this part right here. This nonsense over here. And that's it. I mean, that looks like a very good house to deliver. What do you call it? The room. It's not bad at all. You know, you can show it to an architect, you can show it to a developer, you can show it to a real estate agent, and they should be happy. Now, if I think the image itself does not require sharpness, because obviously it's sharp enough, but you can always sharpen it. But it's up to you. I'm just going to select all of them, click on E, Command W, save, go back to Lightroom, and there it is. Alright, And that's it. That's all for today. Hope you liked the video.